Dr. Lawson, many students have asked about credentialing and licensure for health and wellness coaching. Can you speak? Is there a test that I have to take to be board certified? And is there a licensing board?
Well, as you know, health coaching is a new and rapidly evolving profession. So with a new field like this, it really is continually evolving. So I'll answer that question where we are at this moment in time, knowing that it is an ongoing changing issue. When you have a new field that develops, many people are starting programs in a lot of different places. They come from a lot of different backgrounds and orientations, and all have different ideas about what should be required in the field, how long the training should last, what kinds of skills people need to acquire in the process, what kind of practical demonstration people need to have. So in 2009, the Center for Spirituality and Healing was one of the founding partners of a new organization called the National Consortium for Credentialing Health and Wellness Coaching. And the reason for that body was to bring standards and really minimum criteria for skill sets as well as for practice, capabilities to the field, and to be able to lay the groundwork for future studies, for research, so that when a organization does a study or an outcomes evaluation of a coaching intervention, that we can actually say we know what the coaching intervention was. So to that end, the consortium was founded, and we now represent over 75 different institutions nationally, and that consortium has worked very hard in order to bring some process to this crazy new developing field of health and wellness coaching. So where things stand currently is, as of 2015, we now have over 40 programs, including the University of Minnesota's program, that have been credentialed as what we call a transitionally approved program, meaning that graduates from our program are eligible to sit for national board certification when that becomes available, which we're anticipating happening before the end of the calendar year of 2016. So graduates from our program will have met all of the educational requirements, done the necessary skills demonstration, and had documentation of the length of practice that they need in order to sit for that national board certification when it becomes available. Full program accreditation will be beginning in 2017, and we fully anticipate at this point that University of Minnesota's program will be one of the nationally accredited programs, and so we have to stay tuned, but it is rapidly evolving. That will allow students to be able to say, I've sat for a national board examination and I am board certified nationally. That does not provide the same, standard, if you will, as licensing. So licensing really is mostly a political and a economic process. Licensing is determined by the states, and so it will vary very much state by state. The Minnesota has always been one of the leaders in various areas of integrative and holistic healthcare, and that we have legislature that covers providers that are unlicensed and are not recognized in other healthcare areas. So in the state of Minnesota, in a new field like health and wellness coaching, you have a legal way to practice as an unlicensed provider. Licensing won't happen in any given state until there is a volume of people that are doing that work out in the world, and that it really economically makes sense for the state to regulate it. An example of how this unfolds is in the 90s, naturopaths were really coming onto the scene as a new and burgeoning profession, including in the state of Minnesota. And we worked very hard initially in the mid-90s to gain licensure for naturopaths. And despite a battle and demonstrating their talents and their abilities and their gifts to the consumers of Minnesota, the final argument that let us know it wasn't time was when someone representing the state government said to us, fine, we're happy to give you a licensing office that will cost about $100,000 a year for the state to run. There are currently 5 naturopaths in the state of Minnesota, so it will cost each one of them $20,000 a year for their license. At that point, the naturopaths were more than happy to let the licensing issue go until there were a larger volume of people. So I fully expect in the next 5 to 10 years that licensing will start becoming an issue in the area of health and wellness coaching. And again, states that have a higher volume of practitioners will be those that will be the pioneers in the area that will really do licensing first. But right now, the best you can do is to become board certified and to have a good, solid academic background in your training program. For those students or potential students that would like to follow the national picture more closely, the website for the National Consortium for Credentialing, Health and Wellness Coaching, which should be showing on your screen, is an excellent resource. There's a good summary there of current existing research. There's an update of new developments that are happening with different programs around the country. It's really a great place to plug in and stay connected. There is also a mechanism for not only programs but for individuals to make small contributions to become an active participant in supporting this process of national standardization.